front door clicks open and there they are, your dog, racing toward you with a tail spinning like a helicopter. In that moment, you're not just part of their world, you are their world. But here's what most people don't realize. Sometimes, without meaning to, we do small things that can quietly break their heart. Maybe it's the sharpness in your voice or the way you shrug off their need for attention. You move on, but your dog feels it deeply because they're capable of joy, sadness, and yes, even heartbreak. In fact, research shows dogs have emotional intelligence similar to a 2-year-old child, meaning they don't just react to situations, they actually experience complex feelings that can shape their behavior and well-being. In this video, we're uncovering 10 everyday habits that can slowly chip away at your dog's happiness. And you'll want to stick around because mistake number 7, that one can shake the very sense of safety your pup depends on. Dogs are creatures of habit down to their core. You've probably seen it. Your pup pacing by the door right before walk time, or trotting into the kitchen at the exact moment they expect dinner. And maybe the sweetest of all, how they sit by the front door right around the time you usually get home from work, waiting as if they can read the clock. That routine isn't just cute, it's biology. Studies show that a predictable schedule lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, in dogs. It keeps their nervous system calm and their emotions steady. But when meals, walks, and daily care happen at random, it disrupts that balance. To us, it seems small, but to them it feels like the ground is shifting under their paws. A stable pack always has a clear, reliable leader, and that's you. By sticking to regular feeding and walking times, you're not just managing a schedule. You're helping their brain stay calm, reducing anxiety, and giving them the steady world they need to feel safe and happy. We've all seen it before. A dog has an accident in the house, and the frustrated owner grabs them and rubs their nose in the mess, thinking it'll teach them a lesson. But here's the truth. Dogs don't make the connection. Their brains simply don't link the accident from minutes ago with the punishment happening now. What they do feel is shame, confusion, and fear. Emotions proven to spike their stress hormones when they're handled this way. Just imagine making a mistake and then having someone shove your face right into it. Humiliating, right? That's exactly how dogs feel. Ashamed, confused, and deeply unsettled. It doesn't teach them where to go. All it does is weaken the trust they thought they could rely on. Positive reinforcement works so much better. If you catch them in the act, a firm but calm no is enough. If you discover it later, quietly clean it up and move on. Then, when they go in the right spot, reward them with praise or a treat. Science backs this up. Dogs learn faster when the behavior is immediately followed by a positive outcome, not punishment. So instead of creating fear, you're building confidence and a stronger bond. So many of us do it without thinking. We reach out, give a few pats on the top of the head, assuming it's a sweet gesture of love. But for a lot of dogs, that moment feels less like affection and more like an intrusion. The head is a sensitive spot. When a hand suddenly swoops down from above, some dogs interpret it as a threat. That's why you'll notice certain pups flinch, stiffen up, or even lean away. It's not that they hate you, it's that the motion feels unnatural to them. Think about it. If someone kept tapping the top of your head every time they wanted to say hi, you'd get annoyed pretty quickly. Dogs feel the same. What they usually enjoy more are touches in places that feel safe and comforting. Under the chin, on the chest, along the shoulders, or near the base of the tail. Gentle strokes down their back often release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, making them feel secure and connected. The key is to watch their body language. If they lean into your hand, lick you, or wag happily, that's a green light. But if they turn away, freeze, or look tense, it's their way of saying, "Not right now." Respecting those signals builds trust and makes your affection truly meaningful. A booming voice erupts in the room, and to your dog, that shout feels 10 times louder, sharper, and scarier than you realize. Their ears are far more sensitive than ours, and when anger comes out in a yell, it doesn't teach them a lesson. It just floods their body with stress. Dogs don't process words the way we do. When you yell, they don't understand the meaning behind the sentence. What they hear is pure rage, a wave of negative energy. And instead of learning, they shut down, feeling frightened and unsure if they can trust you. Studies have shown that harsh vocal tones increase cortisol levels in dogs, making them more anxious and even more likely to misbehave. In other words, yelling backfires. What works better is calm, firm consistency. A steady voice paired with the same clear command each time creates an association their brain can actually latch onto. Over time, they learn through repetition and reward, not fear. So the next time frustration builds, take a breath. Your dog doesn't need your anger to learn. They need your guidance and steadiness. Dogs aren't built for a quiet life in the corner. They're social to the core, born to run with a pack, play, and share moments. When that need gets ignored, it's like shutting the door on their happiest self. Think about the times your dog drops a toy at your feet or nudges your arm with those big, hopeful eyes. To us, it might feel like, "Later, buddy," but to them, being brushed off again and again stings. Over time, that silence can turn into boredom, sadness, and even full-on depression. And you've probably seen the signs: chewed-up shoes, shredded pillows, or endless barking. That isn't bad behavior. It's a dog screaming, "I need you." Science backs this up. When dogs play and interacting, their brains release dopamine and serotonin, the same happy chemicals that light us up when we're laughing with friends. No wonder they light up just from a few minutes of your time. And the sweetest thing is, fixing it doesn't take hours. A walk around the block, a silly game of tug-of-war, or even a cuddle on the couch can flip their whole day around. What feels like a quick break for you might just be the moment they've been waiting for all day. Fireworks explode in the sky and your dog darts under the bed, trembling. Or the vacuum starts up and suddenly they're pressed into the corner, eyes wide with panic. In those moments, instead of comfort, all they hear is laughter. To us, it might feel harmless, even a little funny. But to your dog, it stings. Fear is real, whether it's thunder, fireworks, or even the hairdryer. When they're shaking and you laugh, it doesn't feel like love. It feels like being mocked by the one they trust most. Researchers have found that when dogs face stress without comfort, their brains can actually become wired to fear those triggers even more. That's why some dogs develop full-blown phobias over time. What they need in that moment isn't amusement, it's reassurance. A calm voice, a steady hand, maybe a safe spot to retreat to. And if the fear runs too deep, guidance from a vet or behaviorist can help desensitize them step by step. Your dog doesn't expect you to silence the thunder or stop the fireworks. They only need to know that when the world feels frightening, you're still their safe place. Your dog is halfway through dinner, happily crunching kibble, when suddenly you swoop in and lift the bowl. To you, it's just a harmless test of who's in charge. To them, it's like someone yanking a plate of food right out of your hands mid-bite. Dogs are wired to guard their food. In the wild, a meal could mean survival, and losing it could mean going hungry. Even though your pup has a full bag of kibble waiting in the pantry, that instinct is still alive inside them. When you grab their food, it doesn't teach respect. It sparks stress and can trigger food guarding. You've probably seen the signs: the stiff body, the low growl, or the quick gulping of food like they're afraid it'll vanish. Those aren't bad manners. That's anxiety you unknowingly created. The better approach is teaching them that your presence near their food is a good thing. Drop a tasty treat in the bowl while they're eating, or practice commands like "leave it" with rewards. Over time, they learn that you being near their food means more good stuff, not less. Mealtime should be sacred for a dog, a safe, happy routine that builds trust, not tension. Respect their bowl and you'll nurture not just their body, but their sense of security too. Your dog hops onto the couch, tail wagging, eyes glowing with that simple request for closeness. Instead of a cuddle, you push them off with your hand. To you, it's just making space. To them, it feels like rejection. Dogs live for physical affection. Touch is their love language, leaning against your leg, resting their head on your lap, or curling beside you at night. When that gesture is met with a shove, it doesn't just stop the moment. It stings, planting seeds of doubt about whether they're wanted. Behavior experts say physical rejection can chip away at a dog's confidence, making them anxious or overly needy later on. They may not understand why you push them away. They only know the bond they counted on felt suddenly broken. If you need space, there's a kinder way. Redirect them with a toy, guide them to their bed, or use a calm command like off followed by praise when they listen. That way, you set boundaries without bruising their trust. Every touch or refusal of touch tells a story to your dog. And when that story is gentle and clear, they'll always feel safe in your presence. You're at your desk, typing away or maybe cooking dinner when suddenly you feel a paw tap your leg. Not a bark, not a whine, just that gentle touch. It's your dog's quiet way of saying, "Can you notice me for a second?" But instead of responding, you brush it off and keep going. Sometimes it's a bathroom request, other times it's hunger, or simply the need for reassurance. But when that small plea is ignored too often, it's like hitting send on a message that never gets a reply. Eventually, it leaves them feeling unimportant. Dogs speak volumes without words. That paw, the nudge of a nose, even a long stare, these are their texts to you. Studies show that when those cues go unanswered, stress hormones rise, making them restless or even pushing them toward unwanted behaviors. You don't have to drop everything every time, but a quick check-in, maybe a pat, a break outside, or just a smile and a kind word tells them you're listening. And for a dog, being heard is everything. For many dogs, the crate can be a cozy den, a little retreat where they curl up, nap, and feel protected. But when it's used as a punishment, that safe haven quickly turns into a jail cell. Imagine if every time you messed up, someone locked you in your bedroom. Before long, that room wouldn't feel restful anymore. It would feel like a place of shame. Dogs experience the same shift. Instead of calm, the crate starts to trigger anxiety. Science tells us dogs are den animals by nature. When introduced positively with soft bedding, toys, and treats, the crate lowers stress and provides security. But when it's tied to anger or discipline, their brain associates it with fear, not comfort. The better way is to keep the crate sacred. Make it a happy place by dropping in their favorite toy, tossing in a treat, or praising them when they go inside on their own. That way, the crate becomes their sanctuary, not a punishment. When treated right, that little space can help with training, travel, and giving your dog a calm corner all their own. But it only works if they trust it and trust you. So there you have it, 10 little things that can quietly hurt your dog's feelings. None of us mean to do them, but even the smallest habits can leave a big mark on the ones who love us most. The good news? Every single mistake has a fix. With patience, kindness, and a bit of awareness, you can turn those moments of stress into moments of trust. And when you do, your dog doesn't just feel safer, they feel more connected to you than ever. Because at the end of the day, a happy dog doesn't come from perfect training or fancy toys. It comes from being seen, understood, and loved by their favorite human, you. If this video gave you a new way of looking at your pup, give it a like, share it with a fellow dog lover, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next heart-to-heart about our four-legged best friends. And most of all, thank you for watching and for loving your dog the way they deserve.